Good afternoon and welcome to our Tech Training Thursdays. My name is Valentin Guerra alongside with Deborah Pingle. We're here to support you and we'll be looking out at the chat to see if you have any questions. Our presenter today is Mr. Sebastian Tijerina, our lab manager and CAT over at Aida Escobar Elementary. He's going to be talking to us about very important tools, so pay attention and stay tuned. Remember to stay on until the end so you can participate in our raffle. Sebastian, go ahead and take it away. You're muted. Sebastian, you're muted.
Oh, I apologize. I'm over here talking. I forgot I muted myself over here. So again, I'm going to introduce myself as well. Thank you very much, Mr. Guerra, for letting me know that my mic was muted. So my name is Sebastian Tijerina. I'm the science lab teacher and CIT at Escobar Elementary. And I'm going to be walking us through on how to use AI to be able to create star-aligned or mirrored questions. I will ask if we please register for the through our PD system. The ERO is going to be 361347. I believe Valentin will check us in based off of the people that join us in the chat. And you'll also be able to register online, I believe, if we were to share this video. So please do not forget to log in. So let me go ahead and continue. Okay. So the itinerary for today is going to be, I'm going to introduce TCMPC, our TEKS resource system. I'm also going to talk about the star release questions and rubrics, and where to find them. And we're also going to focus on our DOK levels, being that we want to identify the type of question that we want to create for our students, right? We will also be using AI to create these questions. So your favorite flavor of AI is the one that we will be using, okay? So let's go ahead and continue. First things first is I'm going to talk about TCMPC, which is our Texas Curriculum Management Program Cooperative. It is a great resource for TEKS alignment and clarification. You'll see everything from your vertical alignment all the way down to minute details that are needed and can be potentially tested within our TEKS, especially now that we've had a lot of transitions within the years in mathematics, science, and reading. We want to be able to stay up to date and ensure that we are testing accordingly, right? So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to let you all know that in order for you to get your credentials from TCMPC, if I'm not mistaken, I believe we can't log in through Clever. The TEKS resource system that we have on Clever is the outdated one that we're waiting to have phased out. But your TCMPC login credentials, you can request them from your CIT. We do have a list of campuses and names and codes that are required in order for you to register. So I would highly recommend you get with them first to give you the codes and the identification for your campus, right? So let me show you what that looks like. When we come into TCMPC, so I'll walk you through very quickly. It's going to be an all-round presentation today. So TCMPC first. It is fairly intuitive and very well organized in comparison to what we had with our TEKS resource system in previous years. So we have our ELA or RLA, English Language Arts. We have our Spanish Language Arts as well, and mathematics, science, and social studies. So every single one of our content areas are within this resource system, right? I myself, being that I'm a science teacher, I am way more familiar with the science portion. So I'm going to walk you through here, but they are all very similar. So I'm going to go into the science portion. I'm going to go to our new transition, which is our transition year of STAR for this current year. And from here, you can see all of your units, but I love this top right part here where it shows you your 5th grade TEKS clarification. This is what's going to help us create the questions, the TEKS clarification. We also have our science vertical alignment. This is so you can see where we align with our previous grade level. So me, since I teach 5th, I have to align with 4th and get them ready for 6th, right? We also have our 5th grade STAR transition year, our YAG, year to glance, and our STAR transition TEKS verification document. The one that I love to focus on is going to be our TCD. Okay, so the TEKS clarification document. Okay, we click here, and as you can see, we have every single TEK from 5.1 all the way down to 5.13b. Okay, of course, we know that our 5.1 all the way up to our 5.6 are going to be our recurring themes and concepts, our scientific and engineering practices, and all of that fun stuff. So we sometimes implement these This is more for us to be able to understand the processing that the students need in order to be able to answer our questions, right? So we will focus on these TEKS here. So 5.7, as you can see, 5.7 is going to be the main TEK is force, motion, and energy. Students know. And then we have our breakdown here. Now, what I really love about this is the specificity. This specificity right here is what's going to really make your questions that you're going to create pop and encourage that higher level thinking. So we focus on the specificity, and it breaks it down, not just to what the TEK tells us itself and the small portions that say including or such as. It breaks it down as far as to show us the vocabulary such as force, transfer mechanical energy, pushes, pulls, pushes and pulls, right? And identifying the different types of ways that it may be tested. And this is perfect because when we feed it into AI, it wants to get as much information as possible to make it as pertinent as possible for our generation, right? Or generation of questions. So TCMPC, fairly quick, fairly easy to access. You can search it, or you can go ahead and again ask your CIT to send you the actual link to go.tcmpc.org, and those credentials you'll get them from your CIT. So let's go on to our next portion, right? Again, I'm going to be moving at an okay speed. I feel TCMPC is fairly self-explanatory. So now, to access our STAR released questions, right? In order for us to access our STAR released questions, we have to go into TEA. Now, TEA in terms of PDFs, they have, I believe, up to 2019, okay? All other ones, I believe, are digital. Now, we can ask our campus CLLs and, our campus CLLs to go ahead and share the document that was sent to them by our curriculum team or our test creating teams in order to get the question via PDF. So let me go ahead and add another tab because for some reason it's blocking me up top. Right there. Okay, come here, transfer this one over here. So first let's go to TEA. Let's see what TEA gives us. So when I click on this link here, or you can just search, honestly, STAR release questions, and it'll take you to this portion right here. Again, the release test forms are going to be here all the way up to 2019. These are pretty much the only ones that you can get in PDF. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, or if you see them anywhere else. But STAR release test questions, when you come here, it can bring you all the way up to 2024. So I'm going to focus on 5th grade. Like I said, I'm going to come over here to 5th grade, and I want to do science test form. So when you click on the science test form, it's going to take you to our Cambium testing site, and you'll be able to see your questions here, okay? And if you are fairly experienced with your identification of TEKS, you will be able to identify that this is going to be our Category 3, Earth and Moon, right? You can even go to TCMPC and you can Google, or you can search, Control F search our keywords that we have. So I can go right here, Earth and Sun, Earth and Rock, or we can just go here, Moon. There you go. So it's going to be 5.2C. Let's go ahead and scroll down. 5.9A. Okay. It's going to be 5.9 in general. Specifically in this one would most likely be 5.9A. So let's go ahead and go back. Now, this is where we identify our questions, right? Again, I would highly recommend and I prefer we use the PDF version. So let me go ahead and pull mine out from my email. Give me 1 second. So again, I recommend you request it from your campus CLL, and they will most likely have the digital copy of the latest questions that they gave you on the benchmark. Second. All right, so I have mine right here. Let me go ahead and open it. There you go. So I have both my English and Spanish. Let me go ahead and open my English. And this is what our PDFs would look like. This would be a lot easier for you to just copy and paste. Respond. This would be a lot easier for you to copy and paste information, right, and put it into your AI engine. So As of now, we've gone over TCMPC, how to access it. This is what we're going to need in order to feed to our AI engine to align the question to. Our second one is going to be the model of the question, which is going to be once you identify, okay, I like this question right here, or if you want to do a hotspot, multi-select, short constructed response, whatever it may be, you identify the type of question that you want and you feed it into the AI system, right? So we continue. Again, TCMPC, now where we get our questions from, okay? Now, in order for us to create these questions, we have to identify what kind of DOK level we want, right? So our DOK levels, we have 4 different DOK levels, okay? DOK level 1 is going to be recall, right? So anything that we can recall, any information that is able to be recalled, we can arrange, calculate, define, draw, identify, list, label, illustrate, match, memorize, and recognize. This is what you're going to see within your question. A lot of arrange, calculate. Now, this is something that we see a lot in math and science, right? Sometimes we'll see this as well in reading, but primarily this type of vocabulary we tend to, will define, we do see in reading, but these are heavily seen in science as well. So focus. It's going to be on a specific fact, definition, details, or procedure. So it's going to be then just remembering a vocabulary word, the definition of something. What are they displaying here? And it'll show weathering, right? And they'll have to select the vocabulary word to define it, right? And in our note here, we have there's one correct answer, and a combination of level 1s does not make it a level 2. One of the issues that we have is that we think that just because the question is a little bit longer, we automatically pop it into DOK level 2. That wouldn't be the case for this. Okay, so DOK level 2, now we have skill and concept. Now it's the application, right? So we have to categorize, we have to identify cause and effect, we have to classify, compare, distinguish. So now we have to basically describe a little bit, right? Interpret, modify, predict. This is we're going up a little higher in difficulty. Okay, our focus is going to be on applying skills and concepts, explaining how or why. So that's the change that we see here, how or why. So this is more explanation based. This is more just description, right? Explanation, description. Note, there is one correct answer. So there's still only one correct answer here. Usually in DOK level 2s, it's just the one correct answer, and that is that, right? Now, this is where we start getting to the more difficult side, right? Within our short constructed responses, our multi-selects and information or questions like that, right? The verbs that we're going to see is going to be assess, cite evidence, compare, conclude, construct, critique, develop a logical argument, differentiate, formulate a hypothesis, investigate, revise. So this is what we'll see in our short constructed responses, extended constructed responses. So a lot of those are going to be DOK level 3. And we focus on reasoning and planning in order to respond. Complex and abstract thinking is required, and defending reasoning or conclusion. So we have to be able to defend our point and the facts that we are trying to state, right? And in our notes, we have multiple answers or approaches. So this can be, a short constructed response, extended constructed response, multi-select, stuff like that. Now, this is where we get into the real deep critical thinking and application of knowledge within our DOK level 4s. So DOK level 4, the verbiage that you're going to find is going to be apply concepts, analyze, connect, create, critique, design, prove, or we can also maybe even see here predict, right? So I don't see predict, but we will see a lot of predicting. Focus on complex reasoning, planning, and thinking. Make real world applications in new situations. So now it's not a textbook response. It's more, we've learned this textbook response. How can we apply it to something different? That's what we're going to be seeing in our DOK level 4s. And within our notes, we have it has multiple answers or approaches, often requires extended periods of time with multiple steps. So this is our multi-step questioning that we'll see in mathematics, that we'll see in science and in reading. It's going to be our explaining and being able to apply what the actual passage is telling us, right? So quick breakdown on everything we did so far. We have our TCMPC, our TEKS. We have our question, right? That's step 2. And then our step 3 is going to be identify the type of DOK level that you want. Now, we get into the fun part, actually creating the questions, right? So in order to create the questions, we have to pick our AI platform. Personally, my personal preference is going to be ChatGPT. However, I know Magic School AI is great. Some of us already have a membership to it, and or we pay a subscription. and it is perfect for assigning stuff to our students and making it easy for them. However, I feel ChatGPT is fairly straightforward as well, and you feed it a prompt and it's able to do everything for you, just like Magic School AI. I'm pretty sure I could potentially get together with Valentin, and maybe we can create a chatbot that we can share if Valentin would like. We could potentially share a chatbot that you all can use to create these questions depending on the content area of your focus, right? So again, personally, I prefer ChatGPT, so I'm going to go ahead and open up my ChatGPT, right? So ChatGPT, this is my personal one. I have ChatGPT 4.0, and I pay for the premium because I love using images. I love having it export into PDF. It makes it so much easier, right? So we come back over here again. Here is my current AI prompt. Now we can mix and match however we would like to have it done, but I feel this has been the easiest one for me to just plug and play, essentially. And I have prompted it to ask for each step individually. So let me go through the prompt that I created. Now this is also within the PowerPoint that I have that I believe has been shared in the chat, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it has been shared. So awesome. And if it hasn't, we'll try to share it with you all, but this is the prompt that I created. So we're going to copy paste the following prompt into the preferred AI program. You are an AI designed to generate standard aligned questions. Follow these steps to gather necessary details before creating the questions. You will ask for each step individually. So this is what's very important. A lot of us that create prompts, we end up throwing everything in there and then it asks you for everything de golpe. I prefer for it to be step by step because it prompts you to give everything individually and you yourself don't get overwhelmed. Well, did I already put this? Did I already put that? So step one is going to be provide the standard. So you're going to find your TEK, whether it's in reading, math, whatever it is, 3.5A, 4.8C, or whatever it may be, right? You're going to copy paste the whole TEK. Now, in this section, this is where I see TCMPC is superior to any other TEK resource because we copy in the whole specificity, and you're going to see what difference that makes, okay? We copy in the whole specificity when it comes to step one. Step two, we're going to define the question format. Now, the reason why I love ChatGPT is because I can input an image. I don't need to copy paste the PDF text and put it in there. I can take a snip of my screen and feed it the image. That's why I personally prefer ChatGPT over Magic School AI. But again, if you have the PDF, more power to you. It works just as good. So step two is going to be define the question format. Okay, so we go to our TEA release questions, right? Will the question format be image-based or text-based? If image-based, provide an image or describe what it should depict. If text-based, share an example question or describe the style, e.g. multiple choice, multi-select, open-ended. Okay, so that's where you're going to copy-paste your information in, right? Then we have step three. Determine depth of knowledge, your DOK. This is where you're going to say, okay, I want a DOK level 1, DOK level 2, DOK level 3, and you're going to go ahead and say, okay, if I want a DOK level 3, I want it multiple choice. If I want a DOK level 2, I'm going to have it multi-select. If I want a DOK level 4, it's going to be short constructed response. This is where you're going to put there. Okay, and then step 4, additional requirements. Should the question include specific answer choices? So if you have a goal that you want to reach, that's why I added step 4, because some of us want to reach that final goal, right? Where it's like, okay, I need my students to understand solubility, right? So they need to understand that whatever is going to be answered in this question, it is going to be solubility, right? That's why I added step 4. It's not needed, but it is something that can really help you drive in that point with your questioning. So let me show you how that would work, okay? It's as easy as copying this, right? We paste this into our ChatGPT or preferred AI chatbot. Okay. And now it's going to give me step 1, right? Step 1, provide the standard. Okay, let's see. I'm going to pick a random question, right? So let's go ahead and skip this one. I don't like this one. Let's say my students did good with that one. Okay, let's see. My students did good with that one. Ooh, this looks like a lot of information. This is a part A, part B. There we go. So let me zoom out slightly. Okay. Again, I pay for the premium ChatGPT or ChatGPT 4.0, so I can do this. You all as well can copy paste, and I'm pretty sure it'll work just as fine. Okay? But I am going to take a screenshot. And this is why I love doing it this way. So we go this way. Actually, wait, I'm skipping a step. I apologize. I need to come to TCMPC. After I identify this one, students perform an investigation to determine which 4 materials keep a hot drink warm. So I, being that I have high pedagogical content knowledge within my subject, I know this is going to be category 1, physical properties of matter, right? Specifically, conductors. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go conductors. Conductors and insulators is going to be 5.6a, excuse me. Okay, 5.6a. Okay, compare and contrast matter-based and measurable testable, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so from here, we're going to go back to here. Let me copy paste my TEK. Okay, I'll copy my TEK. It's going to be TEKS 5.6a. And then from here again, I'm going to add all the specificity. This is what's really going to give us that extra extra information that we may need in order to answer a question, right? So I'm going to give all that. And this is all I did here was copy the TEK, right? So what educational standard do you want to align with in these questions? Go in, we fed it the TEK. Now, would you like the question to be image-based or text-based? So if it's going to be image-based, in my case, I'm going to give it image-based, right? If it was text-based, you copy-paste it in, and that is it. So right here, all we do is copy it. Again, it works just as good if you have the PDF version and you copy-paste everything in there. I upload my picture. It's going to scan the whole image. And it identifies that I've uploaded an image of a 2-part question related to thermal insulation and conductivity based on experimental data. Do you want me to, 1, modify this question to align more closely to TEKS 5.6a? 2, create a new set of questions in a similar format, 2-part data table experimental setup. Or 3, analyze the question for alignment with TEKS 5.6a and suggest improvement. So now, if I really want my kids, let's say, you know what, I really like this question, right? I really like this question. I want to go with question 2, create a new set of questions in a similar format, right? And it's going to align it to 5.6a. I would like option 2, okay? So then right here, it's just going to ask you to clarify, okay? So right here, and now it's even giving me a table, so I prefer this, okay? I prefer the second one for it to continue with the prompt, okay? I prefer this response, and now it's going to ask me for the DOK level. Okay, this is how difficult we want it. If we want that higher level thinking, if we want it fairly straightforward just for them to identify which one was the best conductor, which one was the best insulator, whatever it was, or them actually apply higher level thinking. Let's say I want a DOK level 3. DOK 3. Additional requirements. So should we add specific answer choices? Let's say I want them to go ahead and focus on conductor, right? Because that's what I want them to test in this specific TEK, right? Again, we had 5.6a. I want them to test this specific TEK because my students had a very hard time with this question. So I want to go conductors, include an answer with conductors, okay? In a 2-part question. That's it. And we continue. Here's a DOK level 3, 2-part question aligned with 5.6a. So now it's giving me the question, okay? Pretty much aligned to how I had it. Okay, there we go. Now I have a question. and I'm going to walk us through the question. So this is a question that I created, right? Before we get there, let me go through the steps one more time. We copy the chatbot, or we copy the, oh, thank you very much, Ms. Maribel. I really appreciate it. So we copy the prompt, and then it walks us through the steps. We provided the standard, 5.6a, right? Based on what my students did bad in, I used my item analysis, I used all of this other stuff, and I identified that 5.6a was going to be the one that I struggled with the most. From there, the second step is going to be define the question format. Again, you can copy it from a PDF, or if you have the ability to splurge and get an actual subscription, which I highly recommend, you can paste in an image, it'll analyze it for you, then it'll pop you into asking you how you would like for it to have, how you would like for it to create the question. And I wanted a new set of questions in a similar format. That's all I wanted. And then it gave me step 3, which is going to be determine the DOK. Again, DOK level 1, 2, 3, or 4. If it's a 2-part, you can say, I want one DOK level 1 and one DOK level 3, or one DOK 3 and one 4 short constructed response, whatever it is. And then here's exactly what your end goal is. You want to identify conductors, and it created the whole question. So let's walk through the question. Again, we know that AI is not 100% correct. Okay, we use it as a tool. It is not a crutch. We use it as a tool to help us out. It is not a end-all be-all. We still need that human touch to it, right? So we go into it. We have an investigation of thermal conductivity of different materials. A group of students is testing different materials to determine which one is the best conductor of thermal energy. There we go. We have conductor right here. They set up an experiment by placing metal, plastic, glass, and wood spoons into a pot of hot water at 100 degrees Celsius. After 3 minutes, they touch each spoon handle and record their observations, right? So this is going to be a subjective measurement. The results are shown in the table below. Metal feels very hot. Plastic feels slightly warm. Glass feels warm. Wood feels cool, right? And then we have part A, which is which material is the best conductor of thermal energy based on the results. So as you can see, it's not, they have to apply their knowledge. It's not just telling them, oh, let energy flow through, because we know that's a conductor. It didn't tell them, oh, it melted this, because we know that if it allows the energy to go through, it's going to heat it up. It's asking them which one was the best conductor, so we need to see which one allowed the heat to travel through. So again, I can identify this as our level 2, 3-ish, right? That's what I'll put it at. So which material is the best conductor for thermal energy based on the results? We know, based off of the data, that it's going to be A, metal, because it feels hot, because it is the best thermal conductor. It is allowing the thermal energy to go through. Now, which statement best explains why the chosen material in part A is the best conductor? If they get part A wrong, they're going to get part B wrong. This is where we emphasize the type of questioning that we want to target, right? Because we know that if they get part A wrong, they're most likely going to get part B wrong. Part B, which statement best explains why the chosen material in part A is the best conductor? And we go, A, the material allows thermal energy to pass through easily. Okay, I like that. The material does allow thermal energy to pass through easily. That is a conductor. It was metal. We have the data to prove it. It feels very hot. Okay, then we have B, the material prevents thermal energy from escaping. The student should be thinking, no, if it prevents thermal energy, that's going to be an insulator. So that's the kind of questioning that we want to influence, right? As we continue, we see all of our answer choices. We know that both answers are here are A. You can mix and match as you want. I know I went fairly quickly, but I do feel that this is a very good tool, especially right now that we're getting ready and we're counting down to STAR. I was just talking to Valentin about it, that the approach that my campus is taking, and I know everybody here is extremely stressed trying to find the resources. So this can most definitely be something that we use to align it to our Eureka, to align it to the questioning that we know we see in STAR, to align it to our SAVAS, to align it to whatever it may be. So I know I'm a little short on time. So if you all have any questions, I am willing to open the room for discussion or any clarification. We're pretty good?
Yeah, I don't see no questions.
All right, awesome. So if anybody has any questions, please feel free to email me, send me a message through Teams. I'll be more than glad to help you all out. Like I said, I shared this as well. Valentin, you have the access to it. I know you're our chatbot guru for the district. So this can be something that I feel can most definitely be right up your alley and sharing with anybody you'd like.
I loved it. It was really
awesome.
very good. And I love the in-depth and graphic from TCMPC. So it gives you more detail. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. That was great.
Awesome. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
And then for the three of you, just stay right now. Debbie's about to start the wheel of names.